Hi guys, how are you doing? Hope you are well, hope you are good. How has your day been? How has your week been? Hope you are blessed. I know you are blessed. Hope you are walking in the blessedness that you've got. Okay, so it's the night in my life. I've been at work all day. Like I resumed work at 7 and I close at 7, although that is like practically, but that is theoretically in paper, but practically it doesn't work that way. I resume before 7 and I close at after 7 most times, just like today. And right now it's like 10 o'clock and I'm just I've got my toddler. My husband is still at work and I'm just going to I'm just trying to get things ready. All right, so basically I just have a couple of things to do tonight. Thankfully my baby has been to my friend Miriam's place and he's had his dinner. I went to pick him there. He's had his dinner, so it's just basically to put him in bed. That's the next thing to do. And then I will also be because I serve in the Sunday school department in my church for teenagers, so I'll just be developing some Sunday school content for for the review, because we have a review tomorrow, and then I'll probably be reading a few chapters of the book I'm reading, and then that will be it for tonight. So it's not really a lot of things to do tonight, but I just want to bring you guys along. And personally, I also want to share like one of few things I have learned. Like, it's the end of January today. In a couple of hours we'll be in February, and it's been awesome. Like, it's been an awesome month packed together. Being a mom, being a wife, being a content creator, trying to develop everything has actually been a lot of work, but we trust God for strength, we trust God for grace, and a couple of challenges as well, by all means. And thank you so much thank you for your congratulatory messages about the house. If you have not watched that video, please go and watch it. It's like a house tour where I gave like a tour of the house that we've just gotten, or that the Lord has just blessed us with. So basically I'm a nurse, in case you're just coming on the channel. I'm a nurse, and I don't work 9 to 5. I work 12 hours mostly, and I have a toddler, as you can hear in the background. So that is another full-time job. And I'm also a wife, full-time job, and I'm also a girl, full-time job. Okay. But anyway, we move. It's a lot of work, to be honest, but then we thank God for the opportunity, for the grace. Today I was just meditating, and I thought that sometimes the blessings that if we are not careful, it becomes a thorn in our flesh, and that's because we don't see the rigorosity that is involved in keeping the blessing that we have. We don't see it, because every blessing that we have from God actually has an ounce of, did I say ounce? It has an ounce of our growth process in it. You're meant to grow. For everything that God gives you, there is an element that is meant to contribute to your growth in it. That is personally what I've experienced and what I've believed. I don't think there's anything that God gives to you that is just for the fun of it. Yes, you can have fun, but then no. But then there is something that is meant to contribute to your growth. So the process of growth is never an easy one, right? Like, for instance, if you have a child, you would agree with me that there is a time where you have to grow personally. Like, you have to develop, because you're a parent. There's something about parenthood that forces you to become a better version of yourself, okay? And aside that, being a wife, definitely it's a lot of work to sustain a home. Being a husband, it's a lot of work, to do well with your wife, with understanding, if you are really, really intentional about making your marriage work. Okay, full-time job, being a nurse, it tasks your brain. Like, there's a lot of tasks on your brain, on your reasoning, triage, on how you prioritize. Priorities. One of the big lessons I've learned in January is priorities. Like, when it comes to I'm just going to share quickly like some of the lessons that I've learned in January, maybe just two. Maybe three now. One of them is priorities. Like, what are your priorities? Like, literally, what are your priorities? What are the things that you are what are your values? What are the things that, for instance, if you're a nurse, you agree with me that there was a day I was commenting on one of my mama's posts on Instagram, and I was saying that you don't leave malaria. There's something called triage in nursing. You don't start treating malaria when there is an artery that is oozing blood. Like, the artery has busted, blood is gushing out straight from the heart, and then you are treating malaria. You treat according to, especially in emergency setting, you treat according to what is going on, like what is going to lead to this person's survival, according to in that what's it called? I'm just tired. I'm not really I don't know how best to explain triage. It's just to say what can lead to the survival of this person right now, first of all. Okay, so you don't leave somebody that is oozing blood and then you start treating malaria. All right, so that is to say that when it comes to life, it just dawns on you, like, when it comes to my life, when it comes to my life, and that's like a question of purpose. Like, what is the most important thing that God is waiting on me for? What is God really expecting me to do? Aside that, what are my responsibilities to achieving this purpose? Because yes, you can say that God has given me a purpose. The person that made a chair could probably hear God tell him that, you know what, you are meant to be the manufacturer of a chair. But how am I going to get there? There is a process to it. So that means that there is the resource of relationship, there is a resource of probably money, there is the resource of knowledge, there is the resource of just everything, of environment. How am I utilizing it? What am I supposed to be paying attention to achieve, whatever it is that I'm supposed to be doing? So all these things have been a question on my mind. Like, okay, what are the priorities? What are the things I'm supposed to be focusing on at this time of my life? What are the things that I'm supposed to take so dear to my heart? So all those things are like, just everything, priorities. So the second thing is time management. Oh my God. Of course, there's no way you want to talk about priorities without talking about time management. Time management is life management. Like, I literally just stopped at some point and I looked at myself, I just looked at nursing. Like, I try to learn from every single thing, right? I'm sure there is a part of your job that talks about dealing with everything with time consciousness in mind. Okay, even if you are in bank or you are not doing anything that is related to life-threatening situations. Okay, but I feel like there is no job that is not that does not have the confinement of time in their operations. Okay, so time is very important. Now, if we can dedicate that kind of thing to our jobs, why can we not learn time management as persons in our personal life? It's so sad that we just wake up and then we decide to just do things as it goes. We don't allocate time to things. We don't pace ourselves. We don't score ourselves. Some of the systems in the world give us like scores to keep us in check, to ensure that things are running. Our jobs have KPIs to keep us in check. But when it comes to our personal lives, we just run it as though, who cares? What? But honestly, we should be, and time management is life management. If you cannot manage your time, is one of the cheapest and the most vital resource that we have. Like, everything, even in the world right now, is within the confinement of time. So if you cannot manage time, if you keep wasting time, that means that nothing actually makes sense to you. That means that even your life does not make sense to you. That is the interpretation I got, and those are one of the musings that I have in this January. I can't remember the third thing I wanted to talk about. I've talked about priorities, I've talked about time. I think those are like the basic things that are very, very important to me, that I have focused on in this January. Obviously, other areas of life, relationship, maintaining boundaries, mutual respect, self-care, just a lot of things actually. But it's just that at some point, some things will just pop up than another thing. Now, I remember the third thing. The third thing is contentment. Contentment. I was reading a book that says that two major things matter in a person's life. If you can master it, you have saved your life by 98%. One of them is impulse control. How much you are able to take charge of your parts of a part of your life called impulse control. If you can take charge of, okay, I have a craving, but I can work to suppress it. If you can take charge of that, you have helped your life. And I think I'm trying to remember the second thing. It's also like related to, oh my god, I'm trying to remember, but if I remember it, probably I will just share it in some other vlogs or into some other video. But yeah, impulse control is very important to managing your life. There is absolutely, because the higher you go, the more your exposure to a lot of resources, the more your exposure to places, people, access to money even. But if you don't know how to control your impulse, you will just see yourself wasting resources, which also includes time, like I discussed earlier. So yeah, then I was saying something about contentment. So yeah, one of the musings of my heart is that contentment is not actually about just you not having things, like, oh, I don't have it, so I'm contented with the little I have. No, I've just learned that contentment is essentially focusing on your values, that even when the resources are large enough to accommodate excesses, you choose to still focus on your values. You choose to still focus on what matters more. You choose to streamline your focus to what exactly matters. Okay, so even when you are in the midst of a lot of people that, yes, I can have access to their lives, to their personal space or whatever, you still choose to focus on the reason why you are there in the first place. You are not carried away by frivolities. So contentment is not essentially not having and deciding not just to stay with the little you have. Contentment is essentially, and I feel like it is most important, in the room of largeness, if there's any word like that, in a place where you have the abundance. So I feel like, yeah, this is enough vlog. I have done actually more than I expect myself to do, and I think you can just do with this one. You can just do with it, okay? I don't think there's really anything I want to show against, because like I said, right now is quarter after 10, and I'm just going to be putting my baby to sleep. I'll work on the content I want to do, and then I'll prepare for work tomorrow, and that's just it. So there's absolutely almost nothing else to show. But yeah, I'm glad that I've discussed these things, I've expressed some of these things, and I hope that you had a beautiful January. Okay, I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for staying through and staying true. Okay, and don't forget to watch other videos. You can binge on them while you have some time with your family. My videos are family friendly. You would always, there's always something to learn. You can go on the health page, like my life page, and then you see like some health things to, that you can share with people in your lives. There's always something that anybody can learn. I've done for women and done for men. I've done for, just something that is even general that you also can learn from. All right, guys, so I will see you in the next one.